Hello dear learners, this is Dr. Sedhupathy, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi, College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Today's discussion is the general topic which comes under operating system. What are the operations basically happen inside an operating system, which is what we are going to discuss today. So the agenda for the discussion will be like operating system operations and transition from user to kernel mode. What actually user mode and what actually kernel mode. Let's have an idea. In a modern operating systems, basically interrupt driven. All the tasks or all the hardware request and response error handling are accessed by means of interrupts. If there are no processes to execute in the memory, no input output devices to service, and if there is no user to whom to respond for the operating system, an operating system will sit quietly and looking and waiting in a queue for something to happen. Operating system always waiting in a queue and sit quietly and looking the user or hardware components something to happen. If happened something, it will receive as an interrupt and it will react based on the interrupt happened. Okay, let's have an idea about what are the interrupts and what actually interrupt driven is. So interrupt driven is basically divided as hardware and software interrupts. Hardware interrupt is by means of any of the hardware devices. There are plenty of hardware devices as connected through bus in the internal architecture, and the bus is connected to the operating system applications and different memory scenarios. And whereas software interrupt, there is an exception or trap, which is software interrupt is like software error. It may be like while you are executing an application, if some type of error occurs, it is called software error. For example, if you execute a simple program, there may be an error like division by 0. This type of things called software interrupt. And if you request for an operating system service, if you request for a simple application to execute, type of thing is called software exception or trap. Other process problems which includes like indefinite loop. If you are executing an application program or language program, if you are running a looping statement without termination condition, continuously it executes. So in that kind of situation, operating system understand there is a software interrupt. Processes modifying each other or the operating system modifying. And dual mode operations allows operating system to protect itself and other system components. If any misconception or interrupts or errors occurs, the operating system automatically protects itself and other system components like hardwares. So in this type of situation, operating system uses two things. One is user mode and kernel mode. Actually, mode bit provided by hardware. User mode is nothing but regular user profile operating system. If there is an interrupt or an indefinite loop software error occurs, operating system automatically converts to kernel mode, and the kernel mode is executed to avoid from those kind of errors. Mode bit is provided by hardware. If continuous routine, indefinite routine hardware request access the hardware gives the mode bit. Based on the mode bit, it actually provides ability to distinguish when system is running user code or kernel code. Sometimes some type of instruction designated as privileged, which are all actually executable only in kernel mode. And the third thing is system call. System call changes the mode to kernel and return from the call and resets to its user. And the second important concept is increasingly central processing unit support multi-mode operation, which is actually achieved by virtual machine manager mode for guests. And here is a simple diagrammatic representation of how transition from user to kernel mode happen in the operating system structure. Timer. The timer application is used to prevent infinite loop or infinite process hogging resources. So infinite loop also can able to prevent it by using timer, and some task continuously hogging or holding some type of resources indefinitely means the operating system waits for some time and then automatically it releases that particular resource. So basically timer is set to interrupt the computer after some time period. After the time period, that particular resource can be automatically released. And there is a keep a counter that is decremented by a physical clock. Once the counter stopped, the interrupt signal occurred. Operating system set the counter by privileged instruction. When counter gets into 0, the interrupt will occur. The setup before scheduling process to regain control or terminate program that exceeds allocated time. From this simple diagrammatic representation, we can able to understand and achieve the how user process is transmitted from the user mode to kernel mode. And thank you for dear learners for your patient listening. I will look forward to catch you in the future with some other interesting topic. Thank you, dear learners.